My sincere thanks to the ARMSCON, the persons who conceptualized it, as well as those who are executing it. And my brief was to reflect upon my academic journey to inspire others. Now, that was the brief which was given to me, which is a tough job, what to do. But I thought, in a day or so, I started thinking about my journey. I thought, I'll take you along with me in this journey and let me see what I have learned or unlearned. Because the present era is not of learning, it is of learning, unlearning and relearning. And that's what the future generation needs. What Dr. Chandna had mentioned was right from his heart, right? So you have listened to that, and his definition of happiness, possibly if you can understand at this stage, it will be difficult. But today you have listened to him, maybe after some years you will remember that, and then that definition will strike to you. So what I'm going to talk is to take you through this journey, and this is my badge. This is after 6-7 years of Dr. Chandna's badge. Well, I used to see him playing cricket. Not only that, because I was literally not born, but brought up in this very campus only. So my father was in an ENT, so I was here only all along for ages. So I have lived in this campus for more than 2 decades. So I have seen this campus going through different phases. So this was a huge batch. Some came directly by competition exam, others were nominated, and there was another group who filed court cases against those who were nominated. And somehow the second and third group was interesting. Later on they even got married. Now that was surprising that initially they fought in the courts, and then they took this fight right back to their home. And those who have guessed it may have guessed it right. Now, here you can identify or try to identify a couple of your senior professors. The person on the extreme right, the other side, you don't have pointer? No. So he is a close friend, Vrinder Saini, our chief biochemistry, Professor Saini's son, and he was responsible for majority of the mass bunks which our class did. Almost each and every bunk was his brainchild. And net result was this poor fellow, Dinesh Gupta, he flunked in pharmacology. That's your subject, sir. And the reason was again a mass bunk. And meanwhile, I'm sure you must have placed these two gentlemen. Well, for after every stage, the only thing which was movie at night. That was the only source of entertainment. And at that time there was a stage peculiar to Rohtak that we used to get student concession on every damn thing, be it tailoring, be it on movies. So all you needed was just iCard. So people will just go knock at the doors and collect the iCards. And they will take the iCards to the movie hall, give it to the person, and get 8 tickets, 5 tickets, whatever. And occasionally that person used to play smart. He will say, "Naam kya hai?" "Rajiv." "Father's name?" "Bhul gaya." So that was a common scene. But still we always used to get tickets because ultimately that was the source of entertainment apart from this 2-in-1, which was a new thing, and only a couple of people had this one. And the life moved on during MBBS stage. It was colorful also. Sometimes, in between, so-called outsiders moved inside the campus. And sometimes, even the insiders started behaving like outsiders. So, the Holi, etc. became a little damper. But otherwise, it was always a colorful festival. And this is, I think, a medical mode, possibly, where the chemist shops are there. This is in one of the lecture theatres, where we just sat down and to have a classical posing for a picture. This must be one of the first one of that time. Again, a couple of them are your consultants over here. And then the journey continued, and then the MD medicine along with that, it was then. Don't worry, it is not MBBS, this is MD, very senior degree, okay? Here we had gone to Pune to attend a conference. We reached Pune, took the conference bags, and night bus, we were off to Goa. And this is all Goa for next 4 days in the conference. I don't know whether you recognize somewhere your professors as well as senior people in the administrative officer over there. Now I'll here pause for a minute during the journey, just to think as to why I'm pausing. Because at this time, I'd done my medicine. I still recollect, I was selected later on as a senior resident in medicine to become consultant later on. My family was here, and Dr. Srivastav, Chief of Medicine, said, why you are not joining? And I said, no, I'm not going to join this place. He said, why? I said, I want to do something more. He said, what? It was like that Maggi tomato ketchup, something different. That style, filmy style. So I said, I want something different. He said, what? I said, I don't know. So at that time, I was just thinking that decision I had taken, one, that I was moving away from my home where everything was there. And secondly, where I was heading, I had no idea. So at this time, I use this word very often, and that is, I keep on saying, don't be that bhawuk. Don't be that emotional while taking the major decisions of life. Now it will be a provocative thing. Majority of people may not like it when I say be self-centered. Now we always say being self-centered with a negative connotation. No. Being self-centered is that you are placing yourself at a higher priority. You're thinking about yourself first. You're thinking in the long run as to what you want. Because ultimately, nobody is going to fight your battle. Ultimately, it is your battle. It's only you who are going to fight this battle. So, it's up to you about being this self-centered. And generally, it happens with parents, its colleagues. So even right here, this ARMSCON, when it must be going on, I'm quite sure there will be some competition, who is going to be the organizing secretary, who is going to be this. And if you have put your point very strongly that I want to be there, that's good. That you should do, rather than giving somebody just on a platter, I gave up just because he wanted, I want to be goody-goody. That doesn't work every time in life. There's a difference between that thing. But later on, if you have not become that organizing secretary and somebody else has become organizing secretary, it doesn't matter. You are a very, very much member of that team. So that team spirit will remain. And there's a difference between selfishness and self-centeredness. It's a thin line, extremely thin line. As long as you do not step on somebody's toes, you do not harm someone, and you are thinking about yourself. You have to put your price first. Nobody is going to put a heavy price on you. Forget it. No one. So here, once you finish your MBBS or MD or whatever it is, once the decision making comes, think about the long run, what is good for me. And there, immediately, if I ask you at this moment, what will you be thinking of? Majority of people will be parents. That's it. I'm quite sure 99.9% answer will be parents. Yes. But at this moment, think about yourself also. Of course, long run, you are thinking about the parents also. And second, now look for some path which is so-called untreaded path, not a common garden variety path. So way back, early 80s, 70s, what used to be the treaded path? Start your practice, stay close to family. That was the classical treaded path. At that time, the untreaded path used to be do a DM, MCH, something like that, or overseas doctor training scheme. At that time, it used to be very popular. Go to England or London, spend a couple of years and come back because you're not allowed to stay there beyond that thing. Well, I chose that part. I don't know at that time how many people from this institution had done DM, maybe one or two, or maybe I was the second or the third one. But at that time, this was the untreaded path which was there. Well, right now, 2016, the treaded path is everybody is after DM, MCH. So now you have to think, is there any other option? Keep your options open. Now I'll give you a number of opportunities are there. You will be MBBS doctor. Unfortunately, in this country, we do not put much importance to the word MBBS. But if you are working with the multinational companies, there is a huge importance of doctor word. A number of contractual research organizations, CRO stands for that, that is related to research, advisor, administrator, and this was a wonderful thing which this has been started by a German team, that the Indians are not fit to do gym. First, they have to be given physiotherapy so that their body should become normal, and then they should go to gym. So it's a concept of physio gym, holistic approach, how you can look for the other avenues. One of our person whom we had employed as a research worker just with a salary of 6,000, I remember. He had done his MBBS from Medical College, Chandigarh. After that, he wanted to join a pharmaceutical company. I asked him, you will not join unless you join a multinational company. And the reason behind that was that you are a doctor. Finally, he joined that. And now he is the CEO. I mean, he's CEO within, I think, 8 years or 10 years of that company. So there are a number of paths which are there, which are presently untreaded paths. The treaded path is classical DM, MCH, which is there. Now, after that, MD had worked here and there. I said I went into the wilderness. This is not of this place, so you won't be able to place it, all of them. I worked in Delhi, in Gangaram Hospital. Then I did my DM from this Lucknow. Maybe this is Dr. Vijay Kher, who used to be in Medanta in nephrology, is in Fortis Escort. This was very close to me. And the person peeping behind is the director of SGPGI Lucknow. I joined there as a DM student, but somehow they gave me only a senior residency. Reason why? Just because the director and, as usual, head of the department had a fight. So the director thought, if he doesn't get his DM student, best way out. Another couple of years, his department will be off the radar. So at that time, even I don't know, maybe this was a classical Rohtak spirit. As my boss used to tell me, that you are a Sardar from Haryana, have come to a Lucknow with a Lucknowi laser. You are the deadliest combination which has ever landed on this place. So be careful at that time. And I was not given DM. I said, how can you deny me my DM? I have earned it. At that time, I remember one of our batchmates, Ajay Anand, he is in US. He came to meet me. As usual, court case kar denge. I was like that, and I told the director, I'll file a court case against you. He says, I know you will win, but I won't let you join. Maximum it will be contempt of court. Already there are 4 contempt of court. Let it be 5th. So I knew I am dealing with a very, very difficult person. At that time, it was not an era of mobiles, not even STD booths. I had to go 16 kilometers to the post office to make phone calls at that time. And I met each and everyone. Meeting a chief secretary of Uttar Pradesh was a tough task. But then I took the help of, can you guess anybody? His contractor who was building his house to seek an appointment. Because once you build a house, you know the importance of many other people. And that taught me, no, every person is important. And even after that, I met Mulayam Singh Yadav, Sharad Yadav, Mr. Devilal, who was the Deputy Prime Minister, I said, no, this is my right, you can't take it away from me. And I got my DM after 8.5 months of this fight. So the only issue is you have to fight for what you have earned. Don't just give in. Just don't give in. With time, how you fight, how you phrase it, how you say it, that you can change. Everything, the time will change. But the principle behind this, that you have to be a fighter. And once you are a fighter, you can fight against disease, you can fight against conflicts, you can fight against so many things once that is there. And this is when I was stint in the UCSD, University of California, San Diego, and there was a plaque there, right at the entrance of this medical center. A civilization is to be judged by the treatment of its minority, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So I was quite impressed that outside a medical institution, and then I asked the person over there, because this is how you have to judge not only by minorities, even those who are not very well off. So it is applicable to our medical setup also. And that journey continues. You keep on meeting your friends, a whole lot of them. I'm sure this is relatively, 6-7 years old picture, so you can recognize some of them. Majority of the friends, what you make is in the initial phase. That is, once you have decided about your career, that is, you are in a medical profession, that's the phase when you have your friends. Later on, the person's in between, his Kamal Sood is in Sydney, Westmead Hospital. He's one of my close friends, but I think apart from him, I haven't acquired any new friend which were there in Rohtak. And again, the person next to him, you must have identified. And these friends keep on be with you always, whenever you keep on needing them. And this ad, I love this Airtel ad, our friend, Zaruri Hota Hai. But what if I ask you a question, simply, that amongst friends versus relatives, what do you will prefer? Your answer will be what? Friends or relatives? Both, friends. So it's friends or both. Ever try to think as to why this happens, that you generally tilt in favor of friends rather than in favor of relatives? The reasons are pretty simple, because once you are friends, you don't keep on judging them, you don't keep on testing them. This is the line which I use very often. Do not surround yourself with looking mirrors. We always tend to have people around us who are just like us, who should behave the way we want, who should like whatever we want. It is like looking in the looking mirror. Be it friend, be it spouse, be it any person, we always want looking mirrors. But that is a negative thing. If you have some difference of opinion amongst your friends, it's a sign of growth. It's a constructive growth, and that is what is required. And if you really want to have friends, don't keep on testing them. Don't keep on judging them. Once there is a friend, there is a friend. And there is no question asked. And that is the relationship, ultimately between the relationship and a friendship, is expectations, which make or break a relationship. Now, if you add these expectations to a friendship, it will behave exactly like a relationship. Or if you take away these expectations, judgment from a relationship, it is like a friendship. So to my understanding, what I have learned over here, be it friend, be it relative, they are essential. They are required. If you are surrounded by them, you are blessed. At the end of your end of your career, you can count them, friends and relatives including, on the fingers of only one hand. You won't be having to count them on both hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. 5. Where, with whom you can share, or whom can tell you without any hesitation. So don't underestimate relationships also, or relatives also. It's an unfortunate part that we underestimate relationships just because we attach a lot of expectations, we attach a lot of ifs and buts. It's strange. At this stage of your career, brother-sister relationship is a wonderful relationship. 10 years down the line, to sustain that brother-sister relationship, it requires effort. You start thinking there's something terribly wrong. But anyway, that is philosophy. Pardon me for that. So, I'll say, irrespective of that, you keep on having your friends, you keep on having your relations, and if after 30 years of that, or 35 years of that, if at least 5 of you are standing together, talking, discussing, at least I consider myself to be an absolutely lucky man that I have been surrounded by at least 5, 6 people who are around me, who can understand me. So it's important to have both friends as well as relationship, and this is the stage where you can develop that bond. Later on, I'm telling you, it's more of a professional. The first question which will be asked by your so-called friend is, give me your visiting card. That will be the first question which will be asked. Nobody is going to ask you who else is in your family, what is your son doing. Visiting card is the one. Income tax commissioner, upper pocket. Doctor ordinary, behind pocket. And third one goes to the dustbin. So this is how later on the friendship is judged. So I think this ARMSCON is giving you an opportunity to strike that bond. But there should be differences. It's good that you should have those differences. And gradually, I showed right in the beginning this huge batch of 125, 130, 140 people. And later on, you will be left with 6, 7, 8 if you are lucky the way I am. Thank you very much.